I'm going to be the head of my household again if everybody's willing to conform to patriarchy again, I guess.
Oh, no.
My bitterness is out of not having the family that I had thought about and designed.
Hi, I'm James, and this is my take on reality. In this episode, we're going to be talking about TLC Sister Wives, specifically Kody and his failure at leadership, why it fails, and how he could improve when he tries to approach patriarchy. Now, before we get started, if you guys are getting anything from the content, please consider subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel out, helps me out, and hey, why not participate in the HBO special? Help a brother out special. Let's get it. Now, before we get started, let's be honest. Kody's approach to leadership lacks tremendously. Specifically, as he starts to approach these ladies and tries to reintroduce the idea of patriarchy, or basically him telling these ladies what they gonna do and what they not gonna do. As we take a step back and we try to look at it from a mile-high view, there are essentially two types of leaders. There are leaders or people who approach leadership in a way that they think that a leader is somebody who just tells you what to do and you do it no matter what without question. On the other hand, there are servant leaders. These are leaders who want to lead and try to get you to be the best that you can be because they want the best for you. They're not leading it with themselves in mind, but they're leading with the people who are following in mind. Now, the difference between the two is just simply in the first instance, where you're somebody who wants to tell people what to do and have them do it, you're leading with trying to make yourself great. When you're a servant leader, you're leading with the idea that you want to make your followers great. That's the substantive difference. As Kody, especially when you're talking about something as precious as family, you would hope that the leader wants the best for his family. An example of that would be in the sense of a parent. A parent is a leader, the child is the follower, just a natural course of things. The parent doesn't want the child to do things, or at least in a healthy situation, doesn't want the child to do things solely to make their life better, solely to make themselves feel a certain way, solely so that they have somewhere to go when they get old. They want that child to grow and develop and become the best person that they can be for themselves. Now, the earmark of a good leader is somebody who tries to take all the blame but shares the credit, because that's what it is. When you're the leader, you're responsible. And that's one of Kody's biggest faults, is the fact that anything that happens in Kody's life, or at least as far as we can tell from the detailings on the show, nothing is ever Kody's fault. Everything is always somebody else. Somebody else is working against me. Somebody else is, making bad decisions. Somebody else is doing this and somebody is doing that. And, how many times have we seen situations where Kody is fully aware of the situation, but when it goes wrong or when there's a negative outcome, he'll come right back and say, oh, well, I had no idea that Christine was unhappy. I had no idea that she was thinking about leaving me. She had told you that she was going to leave you. You had a whole conversation about it. You had said for years that your relationship was falling apart and that you guys weren't as close. But now all of a sudden, now that she packed your stuff up and she put your stuff in the garage, I had no idea that she was this serious. I had no idea that this is what's going on. Then when she talks to you and tells you, I packed your stuff up because I'm thinking about getting a divorce, I want to separate from you, I had no idea that she was thinking about separating from me. Even though she packed my stuff up and kicked me out of the house, I had no idea that this is what was going on. And that goes to the whole idea that if you have no idea, that means that you're not involved. And there's no way you can lead somebody if you're not involved with them. You're not in the trenches with them day to day, dealing with their issues, helping them. If you think that being a leader is just you pay homage to me, you're not a leader. You're a king or an emperor. Those are the only people who believe that they deserve some kind of loyalty and faithfulness and fealty because of who they are. And Kody's case, he thinks that he deserves all this because he's the king of the manor. But the truth of the matter is, and his arrogance and his narcissism prevent him from seeing that you, sir, are not the bee's knees. You are not the end all and be all. He talks a lot about trust. Oh, she violated the trust because she went against me and she was back talking me, or she was talking behind my back. The truth of the matter is that you have to display integrity. You have to be somebody who's worthy of that trust. Because in essence, you're asking, if you look at this whole polygamous and plural marriage situation, as a man, you are asking these women to put their lives in your hands, make themselves financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually vulnerable to you, and trust that you'll do the right thing by them. Because if you really think about it, the only person in Kody's entire household amongst his 4 wives, the only person who has any semblance of control and any semblance of security is actually Robin. Why? Not because he's just because she's his favorite, but because she has that little marriage license and that little marriage certificate. And with those documents, those ensure that if he tries to leave or if he tries to snake out, out the back door, that she has certain protections. Janelle, Christine, Mary don't have these protections. So you're asking these women to trust you. And in order for them to trust you, here's the secret, Kody. You got to be trustworthy. That's the first thing. They have to be able to trust you. They can't trust you. There's been too many situations where, and I'm not even a diehard Sister Wives fan, but I've seen enough situations where Kody and one of the wives will sit and have a conversation. He'll completely agree with everything that she's saying. Then he'll go back, leave, get in front of some other wives, and he'll turn right around and go 180 on her. And not only does he go 180 on her, but he joins in with making fun and diminishing and minimizing and dismissing their points of view. Like they never had a conversation. They completely had a whole conversation about it. And he said, hey, you're right. That's a great idea. Then he leaves. Then all of a sudden they're sitting in a family meeting. The wife feels like she has the support of Kody when she presents it to the other sister wives. And he'll turn right around and say, oh, no, I don't believe in that. I think that's a ridiculous idea. Why would you come up with something like that? We never talked about that. I don't know what you're talking about. And that is why nobody trusts you. And when they don't trust you, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to be 100% in. Nobody is loyal to somebody who's not loyal to them. Another big thing is he has no plan. There's no plan and no direction as to what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. His families are basically broken up into 4 separate individual independent households. Yeah, they get together for picnics and cookouts and things like that, family events, but in every day to day, Monday through Sunday, they don't deal with each other. There's no synergy in the organization. And if the organization doesn't operate as one organization or one group, then what happens is everybody is going their own directions. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody has their own plan. Everybody is looking out for themselves. And mostly because, going back to what I just said, mostly because they don't feel like anybody else is looking out for them, which comes into the next thing where you start talking about inequality and fairness. Who wants to be a part of a group or an organization or even a family where you don't feel like you're being treated fairly? You're not being treated equally. You don't have the same situation as somebody else. You can clearly look at it just as Coyote Pass as an example. You can look at Coyote Pass and the way things are broken down as far as the documents, names on deeds. Robin owns almost 60% of Coyote Pass. If you just say to wives, how do you stay a member of an organization where you're not treated fairly or equally and you're not being respected, which is another big issue. He doesn't respect anybody. The only person Kody respects is himself. Anybody else is completely disrespected. The thing about respect, in order for you to get respect, you have to give respect. You may like somebody and, they may be related to you, maybe family members or close friends or whatever the case may be. But the foundation of your relationship has to be respect. If they don't respect you, then they can treat you any kind of way that they want. Because at the end of the day, they don't respect you. They don't see you as an equal. They don't see you as a part of the organization. They don't see you as important, and they have no value for you. And if they don't value you and they don't respect you, then they can get rid of you and they can use and abuse you and treat you in any kind of way they want. A leader who is a good leader, at least for me, is not somebody who's going to tell me what to do. Hey, there's a pothole there and there's water in it. Lay down so that I may walk over you, that my feet don't get wet. A good leader to me is somebody who is either going to A, get down there with you to help you fix the situation, or B, will lay down on that hole so that you can keep your feet dry as the follower. I will protect you. I will vanguard you. Now, and then when you talk about hierarchy and patriarchy and all that other stuff that he tries to pretend like he's so supportive of, at the end of the day, you are supposed to be the provider and you're supposed to be the protector. So how are you protecting them if you're making them lay down in the pangs and the thorns of life and society and war, and you're casting them out, and so that you can protect yourself? As the protector, you're supposed to be the front line. You're supposed to be in the way. Another big issue that he has is that you have to learn forgiveness. You have to be able to let things go. In order for you to keep your organization together, in order for you to heal your organization, you understand that the most organizations have but two goals, whether it's a organism, whether it's a group, whether it's a club, right? They have two goals. First goal is to grow the group. Second goal is to protect the group. If you can't forgive, no matter how many people you put in place, you're going to find yourself replacing more people than you are protecting and preserving people. Christine, you couldn't forgive her, so you're going to lose her. So you lost her. Mary, you can't forgive her, so there's a possibility that if she ever comes to her senses, that you're going to lose her, or that she won't participate 100% in the family, in the organization. Janelle, if you can't forgive her or get out of your own way to forgive her and let bygones be bygones, you can't continue to grow in that relationship, and she will continue to act independently of you and the group. And in Janelle's case, she may function inside the group, but she is not acting as though she's doing this for the betterment of the group. She's doing this because she's getting advantage by operating within the group. All in all, I think Kody has been a failed leader, and I think he will continue to fail because he doesn't respect the people, he doesn't have humility, and he's too anxious to try to be the boss and not necessarily understand where he's going, why he's going there, and how him getting there and reaching his goals is going to be for the betterment of the people that are following him. My name is James. This has been my take on reality, and I'm out.
'Cause I've been living life